moment.
I like your bush, yes? Right inside of your babushka.
Let's start this segment.
Segamonte. Okay, so again, we're obviously going through using all these trash dupers loot for some kind of good use, right? I mean, it's all up and down the shore, but this is 102. We were talking about 104 places to build in 104 after RazorTube and I did enough 104 on the PC, and knowing that server hopping, anti-server hopping is coming, and base building is going to mean something because of that anti-server hopping, and also because the base building is been fixed, or a lot of the glitches around base building have been fixed, which is very exciting. Um, and the way anti-server hopping works, where people get put inland that are geared, we started to look at things very differently. We did a few builds on 104, so we thought we'd come in here and try to find some base locations, show people different ways to use these buildings, to use these different locations for us to do building, and help you guys out if you're doing solo, duo, or like a larger team. So please excuse all this trash duper loot all over the place, but apparently they're not stopping because we found more in the street.
Mhm.
But again, this is 102. We are waiting for the 104 update on the PlayStation and Xbox. When this comes out as a video later, because I do record, so does Razer while we stream. This will most likely be a video. So hopefully we're all watching this later and we're playing 104 on the console and we're like, cool, show me the location. And we're not all sitting here going, when is it going to drop? But anyway, so we're in Cherno. I like to cut up Cherno into two sections because I do not speak Russian.
Yep.
On my map, Cherno is F1, E1, and E2. It's also the same map that we have. It's a static map that we have in our Discord as well. I would highly suggest using an interactive map, but we use this for like more general placement. But anyway, so we cut up Cherno into two segments, Cherno City and Cherno Industrial. I have a zoomed in portion. Again, this came from iSurvive. There's a couple different places you can get your third party map or interactive map. This one happens to be iSurvive. Uh, so if you're looking at Cherno City, if you're looking at the lower half of the map, it's that gray area is Cherno City, and off to the right, you can see a bunch of like maroon crates lining up and down what looks to be like a sidewalk there on the right-hand side of the image. That's Cherno Industrial. You can get lots of things there, building materials, nails, car parts. Also, please note all the orange circles. Those are potential spawns for vehicles. Another reason why being in Cherno City is very
Important.
choice. And yeah, oh, it's so good. Yeah, because you just go up and down the street and just grab stuff. But also, notice the red, darker red squares, the little pictures of guns. There are a few military spots you can hit down here. And more importantly, if you look at some of the player spawns, which are more aqua with the silhouette of a character, that's where fresh spawns only can pop in, not geared players. So the geared players go inland at least one block. If I bring back this other map, you can see what I'm talking about. So let's say we're in F1. Somebody could potentially spawn in with gear, but they would be in F3, almost one entire block in, and that's a far distance. So basically, people that will be in Cherno City will most likely be poor, and building up here is probably a great idea initially, so you can get started. So that's why we're walking around, showing all these various locations. And Cherno City is pretty hot, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Mhm.
So we're trying to find these little spots where you can block off on the cheap, as planks will be hard to come by or hard to carry, more or less. You can find them, but they will be more difficult to carry them in bulk. So we decided to walk around and find some juicy, juicy spots. This is one of them. I'm hoping that we can place everything as planned in 104, but again, 104's placement is a bit more lenient than it is in 102, which we're currently in version 102, so hopefully we can at least do some kind of makeshift placement here so you guys can understand what we're trying to do. Yeah, so this back section, not unlike our first build, the first one's a bit cheaper as far as resources, but this building here you can rope off pretty quickly, especially with a lockpick. And if you don't have a lockpick in a pinch, you could throw a gate out here or a wall and then just build it up from there. But this one basically needs your basic materials, your nails, your
Planks.
duct tape, the planks, and the hatchet because it's a multi-roll.
Mhm.
Lots of nails mostly.
And if you want to coordinate
Well,
with your
and I guess blanks.
teammates better too. That map that Jade always brings up with you guys, that you can see on his overlay, is basically a map. It's from I Survive. If you're not familiar with it, get familiar with it. Make sure all your friends get it that you play with, and you can actually like pin points on the map that your friends can see. So you have like an instance on the map where you can just update your location and then basically look where the loot is, loot it, create like loot routes with them and whatnot, and then come to a base location like this with all the loot and coordinate a little bit easier. I'm gonna keep.
It's nice.
I'll let you build stuff. I'm gonna keep my gun out because I really don't trust that tent being there.
Yeah, me too.
So
Somebody was here, you know.
I'll chime in, but I'm keeping my gun out.
Okay. Okay. And you might be our light guy if the sun goes down. We're trying to get this before that sun totally drops.
Mhm.
We've been accumulating this stuff up and down the shoreline because dupers are just running wild here, so thought we would do something useful with it before the wipe, which is great, and we are waiting for it. Oh my goodness, are we waiting? I mean, my chat says, all I care about is them adding MVGs. That is coming in 104.
Oh yeah.
Confirmed, and they are amazing.
They are absolutely amazing. I actually did a video on them, just walking around with MVGs, and there's two ways you can use them. You can use them with attaching them to your helmet with a strap, or you can actually hold them in your hand like binoculars if you don't have that strap or the helmet to equip the strap to.
So a lot like the first build that RazorTube and I both did. Shade Monkey! We did a cheaper version of this inland, and again, this will most likely be a video at some point in the very near future, especially if this update comes out quickly. That one's cheaper, but this one's going to cost a few more fences, but you will need, to make this effective, you'll need a lockpick. But looting a lot of the industrial area in Cherno should get you a lockpick soon enough.
Yeah. Because let's face it, inside this little area like this, when you're trying to rope off like a broken wall and you got a few doors here and there on each side, you want to lockpick any spot that people can really walk right into your little base in. Now, a lot like the PD video that I'll be releasing soon, that we went over in one of our streams recently. This is another good area that you have a lot of good high points, like your balconies and windows to look through in order to see those pesky raiders coming in, you know what I mean?
And people can't just pop in behind you. That's
Mhm.
so always worth noting because we're so used to doing that, or like having people do that to us, that it's hard to get out of that mindset initially. Like, oh, I always have to wait for some dude to come in and take our stuff, or you know, they see the base, so now they're just gonna pop up behind us, that kind of thing. That's no longer a thing. The only way that could ever happen is if somehow they were in the building, signed out, didn't know you built there, and then just gave you the old uno dos trace by a surprise.
Yeah.
Which is a lot less likely, right? So.
And I mean, let's face it. I mean, since we played 104 on the PC now, and with all that server hopping stuff, and obviously we have videos on that. Go check them out. Just by the looks of it, it's gonna be so hard for those geared guys to even get close to you. If you build in locations like this, kind of where the freshies spawn and loot, you're not gonna have that much of an issue when it comes to geared people, because it's like, have fun running from inland to the coast, you know? So.
Yeah, and you're gonna have nothing, so good luck with that. Alright, so this isn't quite where I wanted it, but we'll make a V here. This is a bit pricier, but I mean, this is definitely a good start. You could do the solo for sure. You could definitely do this with a two-man. But again, and we've said this numerous times, but it's always worth repeating. You will always want to start small, then get big, because it's super hard to find these materials. You burn through them very quickly, faster than you would think.
Mm-hmm. Because once you start getting these walls and everything around the area you want to lock down, just like Jade Monkey's doing here, it's it's it gets pricey over time. And if you're by yourself, especially, you want to try to cut corners in when you're using like your materials. You don't want to, build out as far as you can go and then come in. You want to try to cut off these types of walls, maybe with one wall or two at the most. That way you can utilize the materials that you have on you, you know? Because let's face it, when you're by yourself and you're looting, you got to worry about getting clapped. You got to worry about, people interrupting you building your base. And in a location like this, the only thing you're going to be worrying about is freshies, but we all know freshies can carry axes, so if they sneak up on you, you're kind of donezo.
Yeah, that's true.
Or a bean can. Think about it, guys. You're building a little base like this. You want to get these walls up as fast as possible. Somebody hits you in the head with a, spaghettios or something. Done. You're done.
You're dead, man.
Yeah.
Or woman.
Yeah.
You're dead, man.
I mean, you guys put so much time into
Trying to
the
make
game.
sure you guys can see.
You guys put so much time into the game, like we do. You just want to be able to utilize your time, get your mats, throw up your stuff, and then worry about like expanding later. Here, you want me to hold that? I can drop that real fast if it gets real.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm gonna try to lay a few down too, because it's so dark.
There you go. So what
Nice,
we're
thanks.
trying to do right now, we're just trying to rope off this area.
Very similar, but again, lower frame, upper frame, it's on the cheap. Just takes planks and nails, and you want to make sure you're doing the lower portion first. And if you're lucky enough and you've got metal sheets, go ahead and do that. And do the lower portions first until the whole place is filled out, and then go back and do your uppers. The upper walls itself, because it's pricey, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fix my hatchet. We didn't beat the sun this time.
No, it's okay though. Sorry, I'm just kind of peeking around the corners, making sure nobody's coming up on us while we're trying to show you guys how we do this base build.
Yeah, as I'm telling you, when this hits, after you get your initial loot, you're like, okay, let's build some.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of people, it'd be the very first time you've done this. So, and that's okay.
And as you can see, Jade here, he's basically put the walls as close as he could to the building. That way we can do rope off this little cement wall we got here. Oh, thanks for the...
Somebody said, are you going to have your own private server? Yes, eventually. We'll probably be playing the PvP official. Well, I mean, that's all there is, right? PvP.
Yeah.
But we'll be playing official probably for a good 1 or 2 weeks solid, and then we'll be trickling in the private.
Dirt Dog from Mixer says, what you building? We're basically in Cherno City, and we're roping off an area to build a base. So we're just kind of trying to
get started to show people what's up.
We're trying to show people in 1.4 what the new meta would be when you're building a base and what you should do to lock it down, because since base building is going to be more beneficial than on this current version that we're on the consoles 1.2.
It's like we're having a party back here with all these colored lights.
Yeah.
We're gonna get clapped.
I know, man. I'm really trying to keep my head on the swivel while you're explaining this, and I'm trying to piggyback off you, but I'm really anxious right now.
I think these colored lights are being weird now. Let's
Yeah.
move too many in one area.
Mhm.
Move this one. Man, I miss being able to throw stuff.
I know. That's a huge key. The Dirt Dog says, yeah, till 1.4's walls are crap.
Me a 1.2.
He's saying when 1.4 comes out that the walls are going to be crap. Alright, Kat, man. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Wee.
And Dirt Dog, to be honest, I don't think the walls are going to be crap in 1.4 because they do take grenades, and grenades don't damage them. So I think it's going to be super hard for people to raid a base if you got metal sheets on it. And guys, if you're watching the stream, you're new to it, make sure you guys are dropping those subs, follows, and likes. If you're watching video form, do the same. I am RazorTube on YouTube. Check me out. I am part of the Boyfriend Squad with Jade Monkey, who's currently being our Builder Bob right now. And he also is on YouTube, Mixer, and Twitch all at the same time. Because we crazy.
Okay, so this, it's not an L, but 3 fences here. We're doing it on the cheap. Lower walls, lower wooden wall, all with planks, nails.